What's up, traders? This is Vee Trades, and today I will be doing a technical analysis breakdown for MicroStrategy Incorporated with the ticker symbol MSTR. I will first be going over what I see in the daily chart and finish the video off with the weekly chart. This video is for entertainment purposes only. Please trade at your own risk. So before we continue with the video, guys, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. 2/3 of my viewers are not subscribed to my channel, so hit the subscribe button down below. It helps the channel out, and you don't have to search for these videos. It will come up in your subscription feed, so it'll be easier to find. So make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. I'm trying to cover MicroStrategy every day or every market open day up until probably the top, and probably even after that. I'm going to try to get the top. I'm not going to time it exactly, but I'm going to try to figure out when it starts looking like a top. Probably going to be later in next year. It's probably going to follow Bitcoin's cycle, or Bitcoin's topping sometime around late next year as well. So I'm pretty sure MicroStrategy might give or take a couple month or two, top around the same time as well. So I want to cover another thing as well. I see a lot of people in my comments kind of just giving up on this stock. I think there's a couple of reasons why. The first reason is that they don't know what they bought. They just saw this stock going up in an exceptional amount, and they started jumping in on the bandwagon. And when the wagon stopped, when the party stopped, you can see that's when people started getting out because they don't know what they bought, and they bought at the wrong time as well. Not looking at a price chart, they probably bought right here, the worst possible time, somewhere above the 500s was probably the worst possible time to buy. Just using one indicator, the EMA, you can see how far price was stretched from it. That was not a good time to buy unless you were going to flip it the same day, maybe get a little squeeze out of it. You can see that was not the best time to buy long term, somewhere right around this level. This was probably better, but this is probably even better as well right over here, long term. So again, people bought at the wrong time, and they don't know what they bought. And then second, they don't know the first rule of in trading or investing: not putting in more money than you are able to lose or afford to lose, or not trading with the right amount of risk. So again, that's probably another error some people made. You got to always have an exit plan. You got to have an exit plan for profit, and you got to have an exit plan for loss. So what is your exit plan? You have to know that before you get into the stock. You don't want to be doing that on the fly. So where is your price targets that you're going to be taking your profit on? If you're going to hold this forever, I mean, eventually you're probably going to sell it, unless you're going to do one of those things where you hold an asset and you pull debt from it, you like as a collateral, you do something like that. I don't know if you do that for stocks. I know you can do it for Bitcoin and real estate. But again, if you can do one of those, but let's just say, just simplify, eventually you're going to sell. So it could be, 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, you got to have a realistic profit target in mind, and also a stop loss, right? Where you're going to, draw the line. Okay, this is probably dead for the next couple of months or a couple of years. It's not going to recover. You got to also figure that out as well before you enter the stock. Again, we're seeing a lot of capitulation in investors. So I think the bottom is coming near. When you start seeing all these angry people, especially the people who bought at the top, start getting mad. That's when you know that we're probably going to come to a bottom sometime soon. I don't think it's going to continue forever. I mean, it could go down, like I said before, the 275 to fill in the gap, and then even lower. I'll go over that target as well. Maybe even lower from there. But I think this will eventually move higher. I don't think this is the top. It doesn't look like it. It can be. It just doesn't look like it. I think it's a high probability it's not. Again, I think we're seeing a capitulation in investors very shortly. A lot of people throwing in the towel, and that's what the market is designed to do. The market is designed to play with your emotions. It's designed to take your money. So again, it made a lot of people buy over here, and then it's going to make a lot of people sell over here, buying high and then selling low. And that's how you know. And you can see that on the chart. This was a very unsustainable move up higher, overextension from the EMA. And now we're seeing the same thing on the bottom. We're kind of falling really quickly, and we're getting overextended from the EMA. So we could see a snapback and even a reversal take place. All right, let's go over the chart before this video gets too long. So what happened today? A nice 4.5% drop, about a 4.5% drop, which was expected. The downside momentum was expected. It was a higher probability of occurring. Instead of finding a bottom yesterday, it was a higher probability of occurring to continue lower than higher. And that's what price is doing. It's tracking towards a price target, which is this gap fill right here, this empty space on the chart. There's a couple other gaps that can be filled at lower prices, but not all gaps will be filled. We're probably not going to come back down to, this gap over here at the $80 level. Not all gaps will be filled. So but it is a good target once prices head in that direction, especially when it's close by. So we're probably going to fill in the gap at 275, maybe even lower at the 232, 234. I think that's where the measurement target is. Again, this is probably a more reliable target. This is one leg down right here. Price began the journey of making the second leg down, and that's right around the 240 level. So those are my two targets to play, 275 and 240. Again, I think the 240 probably going to be reached probably the next couple of days. Tomorrow is a holiday, so the market will be closed. So I think that's why we saw a lot of selling today. People finishing up the year for their tax loss or profit. They just want to get out, buy back later. And also, again, tomorrow's a holiday, so if you want a MicroStrategy, you're gonna have to wait till Thursday now. So it looks like it's headed lower, 275, and then probably 240. Again, consider these ranges not a perfect level, so consider this like a box. So we can give or take a couple points. So let's say we have a box instead. Maybe we don't hit the 240, maybe we hit the 250. Maybe we exceed the 240 and reach the 230. So consider this more like a box and not a perfect level. But regardless, price is dropping lower, looking for the measure move target, and price is below this bearish trend line right over here. So as long as price is below this bearish trend line, then you have to be bearish. Price is going to continue to trend down lower. Unless you start seeing an overextension in the short-term downtrend. So this is called a short-term downtrend. This is a longer-term downtrend. So if the short-term downtrend shows signs of an exhaustion, meaning we just collapse real quick, we get super extended, we can reverse quickly higher, something like that. Or price gets to the level, unable to surpass it, breaking the trend line, we can also reverse higher. So overall, we're probably going to see a bottom somewhere right around here. I think at least we're going to probably see a decent sized bounce, and maybe that bounce will lead to a bottom and higher prices. So we'll see what happens. But as right now, the chart is still showing bearish signs. The measurement target has not been reached, nor the gap fill. We're still below the trend line. And again, looks like the trend is picking up as of right now. So we'll see what happens. But I think the bottom is near for MicroStrategy, somewhere right around the probably 240 level. Can we get down even lower? Well, let's go over the weekly chart. He's look at the weekly chart. You see that we're catching up to that weekly EMA, which is a good sign. Generally, price can find support right around that area, and that coincides with that measure move target. Are we going to pull back even lower, maybe back down to the 178? That was the breakout of this double top right over here. You see that this was resistance, price broke through it. A lot of times it will come back to test it for support, and not out of the question at all. So don't be shocked if we don't see a large enough bounce to reverse the downtrend right around that 240, 275 level. We could go even lower towards the 180 level. Again, this sounds crazy, but it is possible. So I want to include that. I don't think it's a high probability, but it's definitely possible. Definitely not zero. So I think there's a good chance if price doesn't stop right around these price levels, then it could go down to the next one. Let's go and clear the drawings. Show you guys the last chart for the day, a log scale on the weekly, just to get a better visual look at it on the long term. And you can see that it's been going up since about December of 2022. So that's a 2-year bull market. And I think there's probably another year out of this before it collapses. And it probably will collapse. I don't expect this to maintain these high price levels. It's probably going to collapse like the last cycle, or it collapsed about 90% before bottoming out. I mean, this is already a decent sized drop. You can see that from the high to currently where we're at. That's about a 47. If we go to 240, that's about a 55%. So that's not that bad. I mean, this is a very volatile stock. It kind of acts more like a crypto because it's a leveraged play on Bitcoin. If we drop to the 182, that's about a 67%. So that's still not a 90% collapse of the stock. So it's still a very large pullback, but not a total collapse yet. So we'll see what happens. But as right now, the chart shows that long-term, the trend is still up. We're still in a bullish channel. We hit the highs. You see that we hit the high right here off the same level and is pulling back, which is natural. When price hits one side of a channel, it'll work its way to the opposite side. But price did not do that over here. You see that price hit this side of the channel, but it cannot work its way to the bottom side. So it looks like we could be in a steeper uptrend now. So we draw a channel representing that steeper uptrend, and that also fits pretty good. So let's go and erase this. Let's trade it for a channel trend line instead. So we have this channel trend line right here. Then we're in a steeper channel. You can see that we have 3 touches on the bottom. The starting point, this one right here. Then we have a couple more right here. 3, 4. So that definitely fits pretty good against the price action. Let's see, adjust that a little better. So using the same line, parallel line off of this high, you can see that price exactly where price got rejected. This is the same line as the bottom. It's a parallel line. You drag it up, it goes to the prior high right here, and that can predict the next high, which is exactly what happened. Price got rejected. Now, where do you think we're going? Probably the bottom side of the channel. So that's currently at probably the lower 200 levels, like I said before, 240, maybe even lower. 275, maybe it stops at 275 and reverses higher, but it looks like it's headed towards the lower side of the channel. And once that's done, we could probably see another leg up higher for MicroStrategy. Where's my prediction for higher prices? This is all one large leg right here. This is the second leg. As long as price does not go below the $100 level, the target of about 1500, 15 to 1600 is in play. Sometime probably in the middle of next year, maybe even sooner. So MicroStrategy not moving as fast as people wish, not as high as either. But again, these higher price targets are probably gonna come. Again, it has about almost 500,000 Bitcoin, 446,400. Average price right around 60,000 with a total cost of around 23 billion. And that's currently worth right about 42 billion today. So their debt is about half of what the total value is. So again, even if Bitcoin crashes or drops 50%, they're at near break even. So you see that they're still doing very good. Again, this company is mostly just a Bitcoin company. No one's really buying this for their software company. Before Bitcoin, the software company was basically break even, or I mean, it wasn't doing anything. It was just the stock was a zombie stock for 2 decades after that dot-com bubble. So you see that it has been a zombie stock for the longest time until they start going on that Bitcoin standard, and that's when the stock started going up, right? That's what investors are looking for. They're looking for this company buying and holding more Bitcoin for the long term at a good price, and that's what they're doing. So long term, most likely he's going to do very well. They hold the one of the rarest assets in the world. You can't make more of it unless you mine it, and there's also a cap on it, and you can't even get all of it at the same time. It's going to be over the course of till about 2140 till all the Bitcoin is mined. So even if you wish to buy all the Bitcoin, you can't. It's going to be at a certain amount being released. It's an issuance schedule. So overall, MicroStrategy fundamentally still very good. I mean, we're not going to even go over the factors of the earnings and all that stuff. I don't think investors are looking at that. This is negligible compared to their big money, which is the Bitcoin investing. That's where people are focusing on. And right now, it is dropping short term, but long term, the technicals still look pretty good. Price is still in a nice upward channel. Fundamentally, still very good. They continue to buy Bitcoin. They're not selling it. They're not getting rid of it, and the stock price is dropping. So it's providing an opportunity to get into the company at a better price. That's how you should be looking at it. And we'll see what happens. We'll see if the trend reverses higher. I believe so. I don't think we topped. The technicals not really showing a top. But again, I don't know everything either. We could be starting a new downtrend that lasts, a year or two. Who knows? I don't think so. I still think there's a lot of upside potential left, and we'll see what happens. But overall, I'll give you guys an update practically every day, every market session, until we get to those higher price targets. This is Vee Trades, and thank you for your time.